Hi students, today we'll do writing skills, and for writing skills I have taken three topics: notice, letter and diary entry. First, let us start with notice. What is a notice? A notice is a very short piece of writing which is usually formal in style, and it's widely used by individuals and organizations to announce events and celebrations, sometimes births and deaths, occasions, etc. And most notices are meant to be pinned up or pasted on special boards meant for the purpose. Uh, some notices, etc., like notices from government department also appear in newspapers. We see those notices are little bit different, but in our educational institutions, we write, we follow this format. This is layout of our notice. And how this notice is to be written, some very important points. First of all, name of the organization or institution needs to be written here. Then we write word notice and should be in capital. Then date, and date should be full. After we write date, heading, and heading again in capital letters we write. Then this is space for content, and in content which things we usually mention: details of schedule, date, time, venue, program, duration, in case the notice is about an event. Then after we write our content, we write name of the writer. After we write name of the writer, information about the writer. So this is all about the layout of notice. In our chapter 1 literature, we have a question of notice, and this is the question: on behalf of the king, write a notice inviting people to respond to his three questions, mentioned questions also. And in this notice, the same format we follow: name of the organization first, and what is to be written in the name of the organization. As we know, this notice has been issued by the king, so King's Palace we can write, or ABC Palace, as we are not knowing about the name of the palace. So again same, the word notice, date, any fictionary date, then heading. Heading can be three questions because this our chapter is about three questions, or proclamation, right? Then in content, like this is to inform all the people of the kingdom, as king is informing everybody in the kingdom about the proclamation, about the reward. So after we write about the proclamation, we can write down how, for example, how they can assemble, on what date they are supposed to assemble, at what time, right? Because in our content, when we write content, date, time, venue is very important to mention. All right, after we write this content, in the end, as I have discussed earlier, name of the writer, and who is writing this, on whose behalf this notice has been issued: king. So the king, right? This way you can write down notice. All right, the next is informal letter. Let us have a quick view of the format of informal letter, how this is to be written. Layout is, first of all, on the top left we write heading, then sender's address, then date should be in full. After we write date, salutation, and then body. Body means the content. What is in content according to the question? What is required in the question? About what we are writing in the letter. Then when we are writing in paragraphs, every paragraph should have different point. For example, use different paragraphs for any new point. Then after we write our paragraphs, our content, we write leave taking expression. And then after leave taking expression, complimentary close. And last, name of the writer. So this is all about the layout of informal letter, because we have some of the questions of letter also from the chapter. Now, format of the diary entry. So first of all, let's discuss what is a diary entry. It is a personal journal of our day-to-day happenings, experiences, thoughts, feelings, moods and reactions It is basically your confidential conversation with your own self or a trusted friend who understands you but never judges you. So, this is diary entry. Now, how to write a diary entry? What should the format of diary entry includes? First of all, date, date, time of the diary entry. When are we writing diary entry? Then suitable descriptive heading about what our diary entry is. Then body. Body means the content of the diary entry, and in the end, signature of the writer. And now, diary entry. How to write a diary entry? Some of the tips. Use an appropriate layout and format. At the top of the page, write the date and time of your diary entry so that later on you can keep a track of what happened and when. Open the diary entry with a greeting or address. Dear diary, hi, name of the diary, and sign off with your name or signature or initials at the end. Feel free to write hello, hi, bye. This kind of language should be used. And in the end, that's all for today. Got to go, good night. So these words can be written to make your diary entry enriched. The next is be true to yourself. Means don't tell lies. Don't write fake things. Write whatever you are feeling. Whatever you are feeling and the account of what you actually experience. What has happened. What you think of someone. What your hopes or fears are. And what your desire. Alright. So that makes your diary entry very much impressive. The next is follow your own style. Everybody's writing style is different. Writing skill is different. So follow your own. Don't copy others. Follow style that you prefer for you. Write diary entry for yourself, not for others, not for impressing others, for yourself. You should be satisfied whether your diary entry was impressive or not. You must just make sure that it is readable and interesting. Choose a language you like but avoid any filthy expression. Don't write any filthy or bad things in your diary entry. That poses negative impression, right? Then write on anything. Write on any topic that you like personal experiences, religion, politics, society, school people around you, your aim in life, etc. Then keep it short and sweet. There's no need to write very lengthy. Write precise, write short, and write it in an enriched, vocabulary rich diary entry. Don't get carried away and write too much or too long. Right? The next is write in the first person. This is very much crucial. Use pronouns such as I, we, us, we are, I am to add personal touch to your entries. Give feelings to your entries. Now there are some writing skill questions from the chapter like imagine yourself to be hermit. Write a diary entry about the day the king approached you regarding his 3 questions. So here on behalf of the hermit you are supposed to write your diary entry. So these are some of the value points. For hints I am giving you. King approached me alone, insisted me to give answers to his 3 questions, dug beds for me impatiently, as he was very much impatient, very much curious to know the answers of the questions. Bearded man fell at the door. King helped him recover, finally realized he had got his 3 answers. So these are some of the value points. You may add your own points also according to the chapter. Then second is as bearded man, write a diary entry about the day's events. So this is a little bit change in the first question. So this question can appear like this also. The same value points you may use for this question. Then third question is write a letter of thanks from the king to the hermit. So in this you are supposed to write a letter on behalf of the king to the hermit. How do you feel when you got answers to the questions? What was your expression? What were your feelings that you are supposed to write in this letter? First, Value point is glad and contented after meeting you. Why we are using it? Because this gives personal touch to the diary entry. So use these kinds of pronouns I, we, you. Then finally found answers to my questions. Had been looking for answers for quite some time. Proclaimed a reward for the right answer. Got many views but disappointed. You gave me answers with practical experience. The way you clarified my doubts is unbelievable. Because of you, I escaped an attack and befriended my enemy. It's very true that real wisdom resides in solitude. So these are the value points I have taken up from the chapter. Again, I'm telling you, write in your own style. This is very much crucial.